Hey, good evening. So I just wanted to talk to you about some of the many benefits that come from martial arts for children, and I'm talking about pretty much most martial arts that are out there. We're so privileged in Gloucestershire, Cheltenham, because there are so many great martial arts schools and great martial arts coaches, instructors. And today I've been speaking to a couple of them as well, and they work so hard to create a friendly, fun, and safe environment. And the thing with martial arts, though, we always have this image of fighting sometimes, and there are places for that where you can compete, but it's controlled, it's disciplined, but I want to talk about not what we think we know about martial arts for children. I want to talk about the other benefits, and it's as an instructor since 2005. I've been teaching martial arts full-time since 2005. So I've seen children grow and develop into teenagers and then into adults and go on and do so many great things. And I often get stopped in the street and say, "Oh, Mr. Rudman, I remember you said this." So I know this, and I feel that, especially today, but over the last few months during a lockdown situation, I've seen it even more. I've seen it in adults. I've seen it in the children. I'm talking to my team, great bunch of instructors that want the best, and the benefits, they go far beyond anything you can imagine. So we look, confidence is I think if you do most sports, you're gonna get a certain an element of confidence that's gonna build up. But for me, martial arts, it's not a hobby. It shouldn't be. I don't think it should be classed as a hobby. That's just my personal opinion, because it's a way. In fact, it's more of a way of life. It's an education. Anyone that is invested in themselves or their child in martial arts, and pretty much I'd say most sports, other activities along and cause movement. So for straight away, movement is great for our mind. And again, in a lockdown period, we've totally seen that. So people that children that we've seen that have come on and managed to do the Zoom speaking and listening to parents, how they've found it's helped with some sort of routine and normality during this time. But let's come out of lockdown now. So heading into whenever things are starting to get back to normal now. But what is we have education at school, of course. All right, there's an education at school, and that's and there's a lot more personal development and personal growth and mindset teaching that are at schools now, and that's so important. I feel that though, for a child, for me growing up, I had so many role models. I had my parents, I had aunties, I had uncles, and I had my martial arts instructor, I had my scouts masters, and all the other different activities I did. And what I found, and when I look back, and I'm sure as adults you can feel the same, we didn't always want to listen to what our parents were saying. Sometimes we needed that other person there to say exactly the same thing, and we probably respected that in a different way. I wouldn't say we didn't respect our parents, but we have a different relationship with our parents, and we have a different relationship with our children. Sometimes my own children won't, they're the same as anyone else. They do what they want to do. But as soon as I say, well, I'm going to go and tell Michelle, their instructor, or Donna, their instructor, they change a little bit. So it's not to use it as punishment, no. But it's having that sense of, they're stood in front of someone who's accomplished something, whatever their martial arts, because I'm talking about martial arts, right? So whoever stood in front teaching has accomplished something. Now, they may have been a champion fighter. They may have been just a great coach. They've got to a certain level. That has an impact straight away. You now have an extra healthy role model in your child's life, and you controlled that. You've controlled that situation. And like I said, there's so many great, when looking for something like this, I think it's important to get a sense of, the person that's going to be teaching your child, what their principles, their morals, what their, how they educate, and of course the environment that they're in. I say most martial arts instructors are pretty much the same. We just want the best. But they do so much behind the scenes as well. So it's the training that's took them there, and it's things like today, like as an academy, as an industry in well-being, we've had a massive knockback. And like, from my attitude is, I had my rant, I got it off my chest, but now it's time to pick up the pieces. Now it's time to, let's get back up, let's find our way through, and let's fight and let's fight through this. Let's find a way to adapt to this situation. And I believe that is my martial arts training. I'm confident of that. I've had other training and business coaching and mindset development coaching, but I know it's from the training I had from my instructor, Stephen Thompson in Kicks in Gloucester. I know it's down to that. It's down to that development. I haven't spoke once about punching or kicking, because that's a given. It's martial arts. You're learning a disciplined sport, and it's the respect now it comes with that. It's bringing your child into a center that's safe. It's a controlled environment. They're around other people. It's parents that are like-minded like you, because they brought their children to wherever place you would go to. So now they're in a healthy environment. It is an investment 100%. But as a hobby, just coming in, coming out, I don't think that can work. So the reason I want to do this video is to kind of share with you the hidden benefits that come from training in martial arts. And it is having that mindset grow to think things are going to knock us. Things have knocked us now. And I'm sure from this whole lockdown that we're in, we will all come out that very differently. Now, as we grow and as we move away from that situation, well, let's keep our minds right with that, and let's keep our children's minds right with that. It could be dance, it could be some other activity, but I just feel so passionate about it, that the benefits that have come for those that have trained with us over the years, their mindset is there. Okay, and there will be knockbacks, and sometimes we have old members come back with that knockback, and we can it's easier to retweak something and get them back on track. I've had my own knockbacks, and I know if I call it a martial arts mindset, I know it is that has got me through those tough times. And this is a tough time now. But it's the way it is. But I know we'll come back out on top. I know that children are feeling anxious. I know they're suffering because it had that social aspect. There's been a knock there. So that is one of the major benefits straight away, is social. It's building up their self-esteem again. It's building up their confidence when they restart back at school, to have that other activity that can take them away, because it's all changed, right? It's just different for them, and their brains are different as well. They learn better at a younger age. I think with children in confidence and social anxieties and just anxiety in general in terms of mental health, that physical activity is massive straight away. But the other stuff that come, that routine, that getting involved in something and being around attitudes that, okay, well, how can we learn from this? How can we grow, and how can we develop from this? How can we improve from this? Something doesn't work right, we pivot. So there's a lot of hidden training that's in there. But when you watch the Karate Kid, and it's the wax on and the wax off and the paint, the newer Karate Kid one is pick up the coat, put it on. So it's like the more of that, there was, he was learning how to block and how to defend, okay? But the principle behind that, in everything else that comes with it, is so much more. It is all up here. Everything starts in the mind. That's why I made that mindset explosion, because the mind got to come first. Anyone gets started in anything, it takes that courage. It takes a lot of courage to get started and stuff. And that's how confidence will grow. And love it when I see a child. I don't love seeing a child unconfident coming in and shy and hiding, but we love it within a couple of weeks when suddenly they're like stood up really tall, their shoulders are back, they're smiling away, and they could have been just in tears, a few weeks before, because there's that anxiety there that they brought with them a little bit. And before you know it, they're shouting out. They would have never done it. And parents are saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And I'm thinking, well, I know myself putting that picture out sometimes is very difficult. But when you see that the child lift up, they grow, and it's contagious. It will spread around the class. They all catch, and they start feeding that off each other. They're put in a positive environment. They're hearing positive things. They're being praised, and their growth will grow from there. There'll be things they can't do, and they learn how to deal with those challenges, same as anything else, same as like being at school. But we work on those the strengths that that child has, and then from there, the other things will grow with it. Parents will come and say, "Oh my gosh, we've had a report back. Their reports have improved. They've improved at home. Are they going to be perfect? No, of course not. Who is perfect? You show me that perfect person, please." But we teach an attitude and a mindset that gets them set up for school, set up for the next school, set up for college or university, whatever it is they're going to go on to achieve. One of my favorite stories of all the children I taught, and I've done a book, and there's all different case studies in there, but was the young man, and is when I was in my early years of teaching, when he came in, and I used to mix adults a little bit with children then, which hindsight wasn't the best thing, and he would be crying in the class, very unconfident. I had a few bullying issues going on at school as well, and was able to work with him, because it's not us that do it. We work with you and help people, children and adults as well, but make that decision to, change things around. Before I knew it, he's on a demonstration team for us. And setting a goal of wanting to, achieve an Oscar one day, in future life, because we talk about goal setting. Everything was personal development. My unique selling point was personal development. If I'd been good at football, I'd been talking to you about football, but the outcome would have been the same, is growing, what's going on in here. And I know of a lot of martial arts instructors are exactly the same. And I think in Cheltenham we're so privileged, because there's so many great centers, great instructors out there and they have been working their pants off over these last whatever many months it is, to provide for their students and their in these uncertain times. So that says it all. They didn't give up. The instructors didn't give up. I'm not talking just about my place. I'm talking about all the other ones around the area. In Gloucestershire, they didn't give up. They were still there providing, and I know we did it by, I've seen at other schools driving out to see their members as well. So that, I think that says a lot about what martial arts is about. And that's something that it passes on into children as well. They see those things. They may not understand it, but later on in life, they will understand that. And they'll understand what it, that's a good person there that wants to, the best for, for them, if that makes sense. So there are so many benefits to martial arts. I could just say, well, it makes you more confident, but what is confidence is so powerful in itself. Self-belief is a big one, that discipline within ourselves. And I'm not talking about, we talk about discipline. It's that discipline when it is difficult to get ourselves to do something. That's so important. That is so important in everyday life as a child or an adult. But I would say it's that whole personal development, that attitude that comes from learning the martial arts, and for children to have that and backed up. Because how I see it is, we are a role model, a healthy role that you can control. Because some role models you can't control out in media of some sorts. Some role models you just can't control because they're there. So that's just life, okay? But having a martial arts coach or instructor for your child, and you know what, it could be dance. I think I said that, but the same thing. You can't control that, and it is an investment. It's an investment in your child's future, because I didn't do that great at school. So, but mindset-wise, I think I'm doing pretty good, right? It's got me, through all this, got me to here and talking about this now, and that is so important. And that will change so many things when a child realizes that, I can do this and I can take this to other areas, and maybe not thinking it out loud or even saying it in their head the same way as that, but it does have a knock-on effect. My children, it's the same, and I don't push them to go. They do have to go because it's like school. It doesn't matter if they're great or not. I don't care if they're amazing at martial arts or not very good at martial arts. all I can see is having an impact here in terms of their self-belief, in terms of, you know what, Dad, if it's hard, we just keep trying, don't give up, stay strong. That's the things my children say. So I know that impact, of course, I've had that influence, but it can't just be my influence. It has to come from, you know, their instructor. It has to come from somewhere else. And yes, it would be other people in their lives. But who wouldn't want that for their children? Of course not. So when things are settled, and if something struck a nerve, you know, from watching this, then go out, find yourself a martial arts instructor, a martial arts, and it doesn't matter which one. I know they're all good. They're all good. You're either going to get, they're either going to resonate with you or they're not going to resonate for you. And that is my best advice when looking for somewhere. It's a coach and a place that suits you, and you know, you feel that your child's got a good relationship with the coach, and vice versa. That's all that's important. All right. Like if you want to get, and obviously if your end outcome is competitive or not competitive, because there's competitive martial arts and there's the not so competitive martial arts. They're all good. It doesn't matter. It depends on what you want from your outcome from that. They're going to learn some great stuff as well. So if they want to get into competition, they can do. And there's other ones that, where, you know, don't have to do that, or if it's self-defense. But all these things are so important, right? Self-defense is the biggest one, is like defense against what we tell ourselves on a daily basis, okay? Yes, physical, that's important as well. Thank you so much. If you've got any questions about anything I've raised here, or you know, anything to do with martial arts related for children, just drop them in the comments below. We'll get back to you. Most places will start, everywhere is different. We start from 3, okay, and that's very much play and learn. So everywhere is different, and again, that comes down to the individual school and the individual instructors that are running that. All right, peace, love, good health. Bye-bye.